Hi there. In a world where nothing is certain, that means anything is possible, right? If you want to fulfill your dreams and desires, you are in the right place. You absolutely can have a life of happiness. Everyone deserves an abundance of love, laughter, success, health, and wealth. I'm Tara Chadzakis, and you're listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. The show that brings you meditation, mindset, and motivation. So start by giving yourself permission to be awesome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to this episode of Happy, Inspired, Motivated. Now, today's episode is an interview with Maggie Perotin. Now, Maggie is an international business and leadership coach, and she is the owner of the Stairway to Leadership program. In this interview, we're talking about how Maggie got started with her coaching and how she created her dream plan do coaching method. Maggie's work is very similar to mine in that we help our clients align their mindset, their business skills, and their performance habits to help transform their businesses. And just as I created my Goddess Activate program, Maggie has created what she calls the diamond effect, meaning that you actually attract people back into your field and into their client experience with you. She's also the host of the Diamond Effect podcast and has over 13 years of coaching leaders within business. She lives in Canada with her blended family of 4 children. And again, very similar to me, loves spending time with nature, traveling, reading, dancing, and good food. It could be my bio just the same. And that's what made this interview so interesting for me. And I connected really well with Maggie. She's a wonderful lady. I'm going to put all her links in the show notes so that you can get in touch with Maggie if you need her. So let me introduce Maggie to you so that you can hear more about the Dream Plan Do method. Hi, Maggie, and welcome to Happy, Inspired, Motivated. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Tara. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on my show, Maggie. It's so great. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me what your background is and how you came to be the coach that you are right now.
Okay, yes. So quickly, my background, I'm originally Polish. And in 2005, I immigrated to Canada for, better life, better dreams, kind of when you're young, you're courageous and you go. So when I immigrated to Canada, I've never flew a plane before. I've never been to North America before, but again, big dreams. I wanted to live a better life. So why
did you choose Canada first of all then?
You know what? It was a bit of a fluke and not a fluke. So I found out about Canadian immigration program from a friend. I was doing a postgraduate translation school, English, Polish, English.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how it came up in the conversation. I think we were just talking about the Polish political situation at the time and high unemployment. And I was making $400 a month and we probably were going how are we ever going to do this? And she's like, you speak English and you speak French and Canada is bilingual and they have this immigration program. Mm-hmm. And so I started looking into it and I'm like, well, there is a chance because, I never wanted immigrated illegally where you're scared, you can't go back to your own country and so on like that. I didn't want to do. But when I read through the rules, I was like, yeah, that's possible. And at the same time, my partner at the time, he had a family in Toronto. And we started talking to them. We sort of started embracing the idea. I started talking to them and they're like, yeah, it's good here. You work hard. You can, standard of living is higher. And we would love to have more families so you can stay with us when you come and so on. And it sort of led to, okay, well, let's apply. The process is about, I guess depends, 1.5 to 3 years. It took us 1.5 to get through all the procedures. Yeah. And once you go through, you get a permanent residency and you're able to just live legally and work and all that. And, when you're young, you're like, what do I have to lose, right? Nothing is holding me back. You go.
So what did you do when you got to Canada then?
So As I say, I landed a job in a corporate environment, facilities management, because I was bilingual. And in Toronto, bilingual jobs are always, at least like the entry level, are always plenty. And it's not as easy to find good people who are fully bilingual.
Mm-hmm.
I was also lucky enough because sometimes, people look for Canadian experience, which I didn't have and so on. But through that family, they worked in a company that looked for bilingual sort of like phone agents, right?
Yeah.
And they presented my resume to a manager. I went through the interviews, I landed a job. And facility management industry turned out to be fairly interesting, even though I had no idea what it was before. I was like, okay, I need a job. Anyway. Let me try, right?
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be pretty fun and interesting, never boring. So I grew my career in that industry between two companies. I stayed in one company a couple of years, and then my manager got hired to another one, and she brought me over.
Yeah.
And I started, and I quickly, came into like leadership positions from team leader to sort of like last position that I had was a director. I managed about 30 people. We supported 450 across Canada and a bit in US.
Wow.
And so it was, I have to say, it was an interesting, fulfilling career. But about 4 years ago, I went through a burnt out. And it was more situational. And I started to think like, who hasn't, right?
Well, I was just going to say, the universe is terrible for that. It's always it's like, you have to change track right now. And if you don't, this is what's going to happen. Yeah.
Right. So the universe just sends you the message or gets you in a situation when you start rethink how you want to live going forward and what you want to do. And for me, that was that situation. I'm kind of grateful for it, even though I still, when I think about it, I'm like, I have like PTSD. But it got me. And I also say, because I was 39 at the time, so I thought like, it's like a midlife women's crisis, right? Just start thinking like, what do I want to do when I grow up? So that got me rethink. Like it got me really mad and realized like there is things in corporate world where I will never be able to control, right? Decisions that are made above me that I won't have influence over. And then I will find myself, whether implementing the decisions or asking my team to implement the decisions that maybe I don't fully agree with. And I guess I was ready to make my own decisions and live the consequences of it. Yeah. But also I wanted to make sure that I have a say in the balance, right? I have a family, I have a young family, and 4 years ago, they were even younger. And for me, it's important to have, fulfilling professional career and also flexibility of time and be able to spend time with my kids and not work myself, to the ground without like light in the tunnel at the same time. So that sort of got me thinking. And I realized, well, okay, you could leave this position, right? And change it to another company, but you have no guarantee that in a few years it will be the same. Yeah. And because I like to grow, I don't like to stagnate in one position. I was like, well, the higher you go, the more stress it is, the more pressure. And I didn't want to pay the price for, for the personal growth. I didn't want to pay the price on my family time and my stress.
That makes total sense. Yeah.
So that's where I came, wow, maybe you should open your own business. And then the idea of coaching came really like throughout my leadership positions. And I've had them for 13 years. I really discovered my passion for helping people grow and develop their full potential and really coach them. I was first a coach and then a manager, a leader. So I was like, well, I love coaching. And, I have all the experience in business, education. I like it. It's fun. So I merged these together. Yeah. And I started business coaching on the side at first.
Hi, it's me, Tara Chadzakis, just interrupting my podcast, just to let you know that the Goddess Activate coaching program is now open for you. So if you are a female entrepreneur and you know that you are destined for higher impact and higher income, but there's something that's holding you back, stopping you from taking the action and really not allowing you to grow the business success that you truly desire and know you're worthy of, then this coaching could be for you. It's an exclusive one-to-one coaching for you to shift your mindset and start manifesting the abundant success that you deserve, enabling you to live a powerful, limitless life using quantum physics and the fundamental laws of the universe so that you can access your success from the inside out. And, investing in a coach who is dedicated to your success will literally change your life. Perhaps the only regret you'll have is that you didn't do it sooner. Now, my clients gain profound shifts in their businesses as well as their personal lives, stepping into their power, which brings them the confidence and belief to create next level success, attracting more clients, more impact, and receiving more money. And my coaching is a combination of everything I've learned as a law of attraction expert and my strategic intervention techniques learned from Tony Robbins and Chloe Medanis. These combined help you create profound shifts in yourself and the world around you, also known as your reality. We combine the three elements of awareness, healing, and action, which I like to call lovingly the ahas. And these will help you release your old beliefs, thoughts, and habits to help create powerful new neural pathways in your brain, making your success, your business success, a natural flow. And as your business grows, I support you in creating the systems needed for your expansion. So if you'd like to apply for this exclusive one-to-one coaching, I'll put a link in the show next to the Goddess Activate, where we can jump on a call and talk about just how in 6 months' time your life could be completely different. Now back to the show. Okay. So when you were doing business coaching, was that for people in leadership roles or was it for entrepreneurs? What kind of business coaching did you do?
So I do entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I do entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, mostly service-based, just because that's where my background is. That's where my kind of sweet spot is. And it led to the fact that because I started on the side and I didn't want to get into like conflict of interest and kind of all those things, right? I checked with my HR. Okay, well, if I do this, am I okay? Based on my contract and so on, they're like, yeah, fine, no problem. So I really wanted that clear distinction.
Yeah.
And I went that route and I really enjoy working with entrepreneurs, right? As I gain more clients and help them, I really, really enjoy that. So it sort of stayed that way. And for now, yeah, I'm helping entrepreneurs.
So how do you help them then? I know you have certain steps that you go through with them. Can you talk us a little bit about that with us, please?
Yeah. So I have sort of simple process, but I also have a model that I develop. I call it Dream Plan Do. And it's based on the fact that entrepreneurs, a lot of them are creative. A lot of them have like hundreds of ideas and they all want to implement them all at once and right away and so on.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And, it's great. Like that's why they are entrepreneurs with all the ideas and so on. But when you start going from an idea straight to implementation, you're actually causing yourself unnecessary stress and overwhelm and a lot of that also like losing money and adding time to implementing something when you don't take time to plan, right? So when you actually go from an idea and then you go to take a little bit of time to plan. And, depending on the idea, it can be literally 30 minutes or 20, or it could be a little bit longer if that idea is more sort of like a business idea or a project and so on.
Yeah.
But taking the time to pause and think and say, okay, I believe in that idea. I'm going to take I want to take my decisions from the place of possibility of it working out and not from the place of fear it not working out. But what is it that I need to make it a success? And what steps do I need to take? And sometimes you can realize, oh, maybe I need to learn a skill, right? Like I'm missing, like I really need this, I don't know, sales or something, whatever, or some technical thing. But I really need to learn it first a little bit. And again, it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be a bit, but I need to do research. Maybe I need to do a bit of research. Or, we have a tendency as human beings to actually underestimate the amount of time it will take us to implement something. So when we go straight to that and we don't pause, when we don't go through certain steps we think it will take us, we find ourselves stretched and constrained and like almost overscheduled. Whereas if you do that, you might realize, oh, you know what, like maybe I need to give myself time, because your brain has time to kind of think and consider, the circumstances you're in, the life situation, all you need. And then from there, once you plan, then you go to execution, right? To doing. So that's sort of, I help my clients develop that way of thinking, right? And not only in big ideas, but think to save, but ultimately, I help them grow the business. And the process is simple because I believe in simple solutions. Simple is best. Really powerful and best. And it's the 3-step process is, hey, at first, let's figure out who you are. What do you stand for, right? What are your values? Who do you want to serve? What's your mission?
Yeah.
So then it comes, you're aligned with your business, right? The last thing you do is go into business and then you start hating it because you realize this is not you. And you don't, like you fall, you grow apart. And then the second part is, okay, well, now let's look at your customer, right? From who they are, what are their problems, how are you solving them, how are you helping them achieve their goals, how are you going to meet them? Because marketing is really meeting your potential customers and developing relationship with them. How are you going to serve them so they're super happy? You give them more value than they could ever ask for without underpricing yourself or again, burning yourself out. And then how do you want to keep them or nurture that relationship even after it's finished so they can refer or, bring or come back. And then the third thing is, let's create a plan and start implementing it because, so that the first kind of 2 steps are you set them once and then you review them from time to time. And the third step is let's implement, learn from it, and then improve and grow the business. So,
I mean, when people are starting out, especially, we all want to serve everybody. We want to help everybody because, we know what we've got is great and it will help everybody. But then you're talking to nobody, it's really difficult to stand out. What kind of advice would you give to somebody to help them try and stand out in their niche or when they're talking on social media, for example?
So I'm all about sending out. I call it a diamond effect. So you're like a diamond that actually attracts people and not you marching or like chasing people around. And it does really come from, especially when you're a service provider, if you're a product, it's the same, right? If you have a product, you need to think about what's unique about the product that nobody else has. And there must be something because you're the one who created it, not somebody else, right? And the way you think, the way you perceive the world, and from that, the way you create your offer, whether it's service and so on, is unique. You just need to dig deep in your mind to figure out what that is.
We don't tend to think... we don't tend to think we are unique though, do we? We don't think we have anything special to offer. We think that, my service is the same as your service type of thing. We forget that we're special in ourselves.
Yeah, we are. And when you think about services, there are hundreds of people in your industry, right? Like there's hundreds of coaches, there's hundreds of whatever, but and especially when you're in an industry, when your service, you're teaching something and so on. But even if you really like deliver service with your hands, there is a way, the way you do it is unique to you, or the way you teach, the concepts you come up with are unique to you. Yes, they're based on some knowledge that, most people in your industry have, right? Because we learn from the same books, or similar books and so on. But the way you see it, the way you process it, the way you explain it is unique, and your best client will sort of gravitate towards that. Right? Because somebody else is explaining a different way and they don't resonate with it.
Yes, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how I explain something just can sit perfectly with somebody, but for somebody else, they just don't get it, what I say.
Yeah.
And that's what's different. That I connect with the people that understand the way I talk, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And, even like I think about massage therapists, right? Like I go to massage and so on. And even in my area, there's a number of them. And I tried a number of them, but yes, they're okay. But when I found one lady that now I go to over and over, there's something, and I cannot even pinpoint to it, but there's something in the way she delivers the massage, even in the energy that creates, that like comes to me, draws me, and I'm not going to change anymore. And, unless she closes her business, which hopefully not.
Yeah, well, that's it. And when you're starting to get business, how do you help your clients get the clients that they want and get them consistently?
So here, in a nutshell, I call it like intentional marketing strategy, meaning pick marketing ways. So way to really, again, marketing is to meeting people and telling them what to do and making offers sort of to help them when, with the right occasion, right? You don't want to like DM people and people you don't know, or do you want to buy and so on. You want to invite them to your space. And when they agree and make yes in my space, then you can make them offers. And there isn't one, like a lot of entrepreneurs look for like one magic way, one secret way, but I don't know. And they're looking for the how and so on. There isn't one magic way. There's million ways to get to $1 million, and you need to create yours. And what's important is it's important to choose marketing strategies, a few, not all of them, just a few that you can be consistent with, that resonate with you and feel natural. Because what's important is how you show up, the energy you give out, who you are when you're out there marketing your business, right? If you have that graspy energy, that convincing, oh my God, I have to convince people to buy from me. They don't understand how important it is. And you're almost arguing subconsciously with your audience, that comes through, and people like that puts people off.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to feeling natural. Hey, I have a way that can work for you better than other ways. Not that they're wrong. It's just a different way. And, I truly believe in the results I can create. And I just want to tell you about it. Right. And when you start following me or sign up on my list, or we are whatever, right? Or you come to my webinar, or however, or you're in the networking event, when you talk with it about the passion and conviction, just like you would when you read a book and you love the book so much that you recommend it to everybody, and you haven't even read it and you haven't written the book, you're not making any money out of it, but you're recommending it, right? So when you believe in your service that strongly, people will believe you that it can help them, right?
Yeah. Especially in the beginning, again, it's very easy to, what you need to do.
Yeah.
But obviously, I work a lot with limiting beliefs, and they're terrible suckers for making you procrastinate.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I know what I need to do and I know how to do it, but I'll just do this instead first, or I'll just make sure my website is perfect, or I'll just this and I'll just that. And it's procrastination. Do you have any habits that you can recommend for people who are in that kind of stage that are procrastinating, even though they know that something is going to really help them?
Yeah, it is the mindset, right? And it needs to start with your mindset. When you start, first of all, I would say be aware, right? So when you start thinking, oh, I need to perfect my website, I need to do all those things that don't actually make you money, right? That don't bring the client, or I don't know, business cards. I guess nobody has them anymore.
I'll just make some new business cards.
But whatever, right? Spend hours on perfecting graphic, or looking for what's the new secret way of me making money. Notice that, right? And then explore it. Why is it? Is it because I'm scared to go out there and talk about my offer? And then why is it? Because I think, or I believe that people don't want it, right? So then you want to redirect your brain and say, why would they want it? Why would my ideal client want? What are the benefits of my client, going with me and taking me up on the offer? What are the results that they would get? And really, again, you need to sort of be sold on the value that you offer before your clients will, right? You can't expect a client, a stranger, to believe in your offer stronger than you.
Yes.
Right? We can't expect somebody who doesn't know us, who doesn't know what we offer, to say, yes, this person can help me, even though they're not sure about it.
Even though they don't think they can themselves. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when I first started out in coaching, I I got hung up quite a lot on my pricing as well, because I was still translating it as in, coming from a job, as in you earn X amount per hour.
Yeah.
I was still having that mentality, and I had to make a massive shift, because it's not an hourly rate. You're not trading time for money anymore. It's a result that the client's going to get as well. Right. It's all of these things that happen that shift them.
That's right.
That's a return on their investment, not, oh, I'm going to get X amount of hours for X amount of pounds, so it's going to cost me this much per hour. It's not an hourly rate anymore. And people find that quite difficult as well, because they feel as though they're, like you talking about charging like a little bit earlier on. They want to put their product out there or their offer, but they're worried about how much they're charging per hour. And that's a completely different mindset to be in as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is, because as you say, nobody pays us for the amount of time it takes that to do whatever, create whatever. People pay us for result, right? In entrepreneurship, you get paid for the value you deliver, meaning the results for your clients, not for the amount of time. And you're right that like a lot of, I don't think it took me that long. I just charged, but it took me time to like think about it. But I wasn't spinning in drama, because I just went with the price that I felt confident in, that I felt good about, so for me, yes, if you have a product, maybe there's some consideration of your costs and so on. So there's a minimal price you should charge. But, in a coaching industry or service industry where there isn't that much considerations, right? Our costs is fairly low. Then I would say just pick a price in the beginning that you feel good about, that you wouldn't be resentful if your client took you up on it, and then, you deliver service and be like, oh, I'm underpriced. But it's not as high when you don't believe it yourself. And then start there. And as you go and you gain more clients and you deliver more service and your confidence grow, you can always raise your prices. Like I always say to my clients, you're the CEO of your business. You're in charge and control. You make the decisions. You can always change your decisions. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about value. When you're offering value to somebody, if it's the right client, you can have two different people there looking at your pricing and what you offer. And one person's gonna be like, well, that's too expensive, because they don't see the value. And the other person's like, oh my God, it's a steal, I'm in.
Yeah.
Because they see the value from a different perspective. And it's no different about what you're offering or the price. It's just whether the person actually truly sees the value that you're going to offer them. And like you say, you got to see it yourself first.
Yeah, exactly. And the way you explain it, that's the thing. The way you explain the value, the way you talk about it will resonate with some people. And they will, as you say, they will totally get it. They'll be like, yep, that's a steal, I'm in. And there's people who just think differently and your message doesn't resonate with them. And for them, because they don't see the value, then no matter what you charge, whether it's $100 or $1,000, is going to be too expensive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've looked at coaches before. I always work with a coach myself, but some coaches I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay that. That's too much. And then I'll find another coach who was more expensive. But
you're like, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in. Exactly. It's not about the money, even though you might think it is. You might say it's too expensive or anything like. It's just the fact that that's not the coach for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, how can people find you on the web, and what kind of work can they do with you, Maggie?
So the best, I guess, to find me is either through my website, which is stairwaytoleadership.com. So one word, stairwaytoleadership.com, or on Instagram or LinkedIn under my name, Maggie Perotin, Perotin. And the work I do is really, I help service-based entrepreneurs grow their businesses. I sort of give them tools and clarity to exceed their goals, and then do it without the overwhelm, without the burnt out and so on, right? So I do help my clients with mindset and kind of like this strategy, business skill, and some good habits that allow them to focus on the tasks that make money and produce the results and not everything else. So not to be busy, right? be effective with their time and be able to turn off their brain when the business time is over and focus on their family, because that's not healthy, right? When you're thinking about your business 24/7, you can't turn off. It's
yeah, and that's very easy to do when it's your own business.
Yes, it is.
I must admit, I don't like to take the laptop upstairs with me if I'm with my kids. Our living room's upstairs. That's why I'm saying upstairs. So I do close it down at the end of the day. But sometimes it's like my brain will go boom, because when you're relaxing and you're not thinking about the business, that's when you tend to get more downloads as well. So sometimes things come up, and you got to scribble them down really quickly.
Yeah,
but that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And that's, of course, that will happen because we don't have full control over what we think about or not, right? No. And as you say, the moment you relax, your creative brain kind of kicks in. But yeah, you can just write them down and then it's like, okay, I'll further explore it tomorrow, right? Rather than run around, buy kids. I'm going now.
I'm off, I'm back to work again.
Yeah.
We're entrepreneurs because we want a different level of lifestyle. We don't want to be trapped in putting all the hours in for X amount of money. We want more freedom. Yeah. And we want to make our own choices. And that's part of the journey, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we want to use those choices that we have, right?
Yeah.
Want to be able to truly benefit from it.
That's my plan as well.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Maggie, for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure. You've given my audience lots and lots of tips, which was really great. I will put your Stairway to leadership.com link in the show notes as well, and your Instagram. Any final words you'd like to give to my audience, sort of food for thought?
Yeah, I would say food for thought is whenever you start fearing or spinning in, maybe I should offer this or have a price of this, or I don't know how to find clients and so on, notice how your brain goes. And those are just thoughts. And you can redirect those thoughts and you can just make simple decisions from the belief that you have value to offer and there's people out there who want what you offer, and then go out there and talk to them and they will come.
Love it. And as you said, yours is the diamond effect. So you're bringing people into your energy.
That's right.
Your radiance and glow.
That's right.
Thank you so much for your time, Maggie. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Tara. You too. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. I'll be back next week bringing more meditation, mindset, and motivation for your happy and successful life. To find out more about our community, go to tarachatzakis.com/happy, inspired, motivated.